if your rivals are the people that are holding the doors to your success, how do you think that works out for you?
Pocho, you're lame, dog. Quit saying my name, dog. You thirsty getting clout. You get no views on your podcast anyways, dog. Stop capping, my boy. Yeah, you reached out. You talk good about me. I never did an interview with you, my boy. You wanted to go on live. I never did, because why? I know what it is. You're making a narrative that's never going to happen. Dog, there's too much bloodshed, too much bullshit going on. Prison is prison. The streets is the streets.
What it do, what it is, what it was. This is your boy Pocho of the Chicano podcast. Like, subscribe, and turn on notifications, and support a real one in the field. Happy New Year 2026. Whoo! I don't know about you guys. but 2025 was a rough one, man. But it is what it is. This is life. I hope you're having a beautiful, blessed day with your family. It's the weekend. I was just chilling. There wasn't a lot of content to react to. But today we're reacting to King Lil G getting deported to Mexico. What is going on? Trump, what did you do, bro? We're talking about King Lil G not getting deported, and basically it looks like it's fake news. I thought it was real, because anything that's going on now, bro, I can't even, like, if aliens come down to see us, bro, I won't even be surprised that all the crazy things are going on. But hearing that King Lil G got deported by Donald Trump was definitely viral for a minute. And then we find out right off the bat that it was all lies, you know what I mean? Or just misinformation. So you guys, please, when you follow these blogs, don't take them as for sure news. Grab the headline maybe, Google it, and if you don't see anything, you know it's just for viral views and entertainment. You can hate if you want, but do you remember when you were a youngster, especially the older fools, going into the shopping line at a Target or wherever, and or Safeway, wherever, Lucky's, and there'll be like the National Enquirer with a bunch of like fake news, but it's more entertaining and funny, satirical. So you got to remember, a lot of these pages are satirical. They don't care about your feelings. They just care about views. But let's talk a little bit about King Lil G. King Lil G is one of those artists who really carved out his own lane in West Coast rap, bro. I was in Los Angeles when it happened. Him and John Boy changed the whole scene in Los Angeles. They went from like all the fools wearing size 40s and tough guys, bunch of dudes, to like showing females, showing the lifestyle, blazing, showing different races. I mean, everything, just like real pimping Mexican stuff, like real fashion, bro, sucios, just female body parts, blazing, good times. And I remember, like, damn, bro, he's doing something different. It's changing the whole Chicano rap scene. He's known for his authenticity and for representing the struggles and the stories of the community he comes from. He's been dropping music for quite a while now, and he's got a bunch of music, a lot of music, bro. And he has a bunch of music. Some of his biggest songs are Hopeless Boy, Grow Up, and AK-47 are just a few of his well-known tracks that fans really vibe with. He got a mix of street-level storytelling, motivational messages that really resonate with a lot of people, bro. So the deportation rumor. Now, jumping into what's been going on lately, bro, there has been a rumor swirling around that King Lil G got deported, and man, it caught fire. People are all over social media, and they were saying that he was out of here, bro, sent back to Mexico. And it really blew up, bro. I don't know what's going on. But here's the reality check. Turns out it was all just a rumor that got out of control. A few gossip pages and maybe some clout chasing started spreading it. You know, some clout chasers. And people ran with it. And as of now, it looks like King Lil G is still here in LA, still doing his thing. And the whole deportation story is just some fake news. It got a little too much traction, bruh. So that's the lowdown. Just a reminder not to believe every rumor that pops up on your feed. King Lil G is still around. Keep you posted. But yeah, so the main thing about this, bro, is I just want to point out that, one, King Lil G is not deported, that he's posted already on the blog pages. And I don't even want to blow up the blog pages, because in 2026, bro, I'm not trying to go to war with people. I'm just trying to, like, Blue Devils, break down the news a little bit, give you guys some, you know, of my thoughts, and let it be. I don't want to go back and forth with fools arguing. I know it's entertaining, it's fun, it's good for the views. But we just want to keep it 100 here. 100 here is to know that King Lil G is out. He's free. He's doing his thing. And I don't know. I wanted to know in the comments, is King Lil G the best Chicano rapper ever? Is he just did he fall off? Or is this kind of like, do people think that they're, this is like a move to try to make him come back or something? You feel me? But I want to know in the comments, do you guys take these blog pages serious, bro? And King Lil G is a rapper straight out of Los Angeles. He's been holding it down for a minute, known for his raw lyrics, his story talent, and about life in the streets, and just being a real voice for Chicano youth out here. He got tracks that hit hard and really speaks to the LA experience. He built a solid fan base along the way. He's one of the only rappers that have like 1 million followers, bro. Over 1 million followers. And I would say he's the top. If, sometimes Little Rob, Little One, Conejo, those are kind of the godfathers of Chicano rap. And I think the next generation that took it from Chicano rap to just rap, where like black fools would like bump it at, or at least respect it. I don't think that a lot of black people bump King Lil G, but I do think that King Lil G, him and Shoreline Mafia is basically the birth of all these new fools that really got it cracking with the blacks, like Peso, a little bit of Lefty, fools like that, you know what I mean? But there's nobody like King Lil G. And I do want to talk a little bit about like the irresponsibility of the blogs, bro, and how we got to check in. But at the same time, they're just blogs. You guys can't take them as for sure news, bro. Even the news messes up sometimes. But it is a trip that they haven't deleted the post. But hey, it is what it is, bro. King Lil G is still out here, still doing his thing. And I think he's going to stay on the top. You know what I mean? All his music still pops. He's the only one that gets millions of views all the time. And he also stays tucked in. He doesn't get out there and get all up in the media. He's done a couple podcasts with Hater World, Hoodstocks, and I think even Mr. Criminal. But he had his face covered, you know what I mean? I think he's being smart and just focusing on his family. His page looks like he's like me, just focusing on families, just trying to keep it humble and chill. But then, hey, you're just out here with your family enjoying, New Year's Eve or whatever, and then boom, you find out that you're deported just because you went to Mexico to hang out with family or something, or he kind of started getting to the area borders. But the reason they also think that it could have happened is because when you come here, you don't have papers, you can't go back to Mexico, bro. That's why I remember it was such an honor when I married my ex, who's a dreamer, and I got to help her go back and see her family in Mexico. So if there's pictures of him in Mexico, perceiving that he's in Mexico, it's only an assumption that he got deported, because how could he be back unless he got his papers? And who knows, people, maybe he got his papers. But that's what I'm trying to say, is that we got to stay out of like just jumping the gun. I was gonna post something right like, oh my god, he deported, and then I waited a couple of days to see if it was real, and look, it finds out that it's fake news, that's a mistake, and that little King Lil G is still on top, in LA, in Southern California, doing this thing. So let me know if you ever bumped him, if you were in Northern California, if you think he's still the king of it all, and what responsibility do these blog pages have, and do you take, like, what pages put below the pages that you follow that you be like taking serious or not serious, because I don't know, I feel like it's a rough scene out there. I tried to blog for a little bit, but it's really hard. So I shout out to all the bloggers. I can't even hate. It's hard to disseminate real news from fake news, and even the real networks mess up sometimes. So hey, shout out to all of them. I'm not even gonna say any names, you know what I mean, because I know it's not easy to do what you all do. And I don't know, in 2026 I'm trying to like add some value, add some thoughts, but not to get too crazy. I don't care if the views don't go crazy. I just want to be like more of a softer voice this year. You feel me? Life was a little tough last year, so let's keep it. Anyway, shout out to King Lil G, one of the only rappers that I listen to out of Southern California that's around my age, and I think he's a legend. He's done a lot for the community. He's kept it humble, and I don't think he deserves this kind of fake news on him. But hey, it is what it is. When you're a celebrity, you get it however it comes, but all press is good press. Another thing about King Lil G is that one thing I liked about him a lot is that he's from 18th Street, supposedly, allegedly, but it's all over the internet. I guess his brother was even harder than him, or like a real active member, but King Lil G kind of found music first and blew up all Los Angeles. And that's pretty crazy, because 18th Street is probably the biggest Hispanic gang, with Florence right behind them, and maybe like Avenues or things like that. But by far, 18th Street is the biggest Chicano gang, and I would say the biggest black gang as well in the 60s. So he's from the biggest, most hated gang in Los Angeles. Gives him a lot of supporters, also gives him a lot of hate, and why a lot of people think that he could have gone further if he didn't have any gang ties. And this is something that barely talks about 18th Street in his music. Some symbolic stuff, some like not it's not sneak dissing. It's like being sneaky with your words, right? Trying to say like like saying things that kind of say like 18th Street. Their symbol is best, the best gang, BEST, best. I used to live in MacArthur Park in the Colombianos, right there, 6th and Westlake district, bro. Pico Union, basically, where the 18th Street mural is, bro. And the only time I got hit up on 18th Street was when I shaved my beard. They knew I was from north, but they didn't care, bro, because most people in LA they're a gang of fools. The fools they're hella homies. They're worried about fools literally down the street. 18th Street had MS on one side, Rockwood on the other side, Diamond Street down the street, the orphans over here, the crazy riders behind them. I mean, they just had everybody around them. Burlington, I mean, it just keeps going. I don't think the downtown gangs are there anymore, but still, it was cracking all the time. But they had their hood on lock, and it was more just the drunks you had to worry about. I remember, though, if you remember that Ross right there in Pico Union, bro, or Westlake District, my bad. I always forgot. I thought I was in Pico Union. They're like, fool, you live in the Westlake District. That's LA for you, always trying to divide. But that being said, also Easy Riders, man. And then across the 10, you got Harpies, Dead End, then the Blacks and the Bloods, USC where I went. But all that to say is that he was even known to be with Suge Knight back in the day, backing him up against the other fools, you know what I mean? So he was involved in things way back in the day, you know what I mean? And it's just like, I do think, again, one more time though, even in his situation, he let gang ties hold him back. And in some areas it helped him, you know? Suge Knight and all of them thought he was thought he was hard. Even Suge Knight said, I'm from 18th Street too. I'm a blood, you know, was it Crenshaw Mafia blood or something? Or whatever it is, and 18th Street. He even said that to King Lil G one day. Hopefully I can find the clip. But whole point, or that King Lil G said that, and that he backed him up and all that stuff. So King Lil G's been around for a minute. But that being said, also because he's from 18th Street, he also can't progress really far because there's a lot of black gangs that got funk with 18th Street. And so a lot of those black gangs have rappers out of those gangs. And those rappers are black. And this is a black culture, black music. And even though Browns were there and we've added to it, it's black. You feel me? So if your rivals are the people that are holding the doors to your success, how do you think that works out for you? And that's why I'm telling you, no matter how much you want to say, you know, you're hard and this and that, you got to listen to me. Keep your gang ties and gang politics out of your music and your artistry. Move on, elevate. You don't got to deny who you are, where you're from. Just move on, move up. And remember where you're from. Always salute that, you know. A lot of people think I'm always trying to be like, oh, no, I'm just saluting where I grew up, you know, South Park, Valley Oak. It is what it is. Eventually we moved to Montgomery Village and Rincon Valley, bro. We came up. But he's always kept it real, always stayed true, and he has a lot of love for that. But it's also held him back. So please think about that, people, when you get into the music industry. Any rapper that's thinking about to pop off, if you're from a hood, you don't gotta like hate on your hood. You don't gotta leave your hood. Just elevate, bring your homies with you, and make it like it used to be in the 90s. Kind of like a cool secret that you had to find out on your own. Nobody knew Eazy-E was from Kelly's Park Crip or whatever it is till years later, bro, because Eazy-E wasn't about that. He wanted to give music to all the masses, not just to the Crips. You know what I mean? So King Lil G has halfway given his music all to the masses, not just 18th Street, but it's also held him back, and that's one of the problems we have here. So anyway, let me know in the comments if you like King Lil G, if you got love for his music, if you think he changed LA music, Chicano rap, if he's kind of a modern day king with the Godfathers on top of him, like Conejo, Little One, you know, I guess, what's his name? I don't know. There's a bunch of other fools, but I don't even want to get into that right now. Kid Frost, you know what I'm trying to say. But anyway, Summer Nights, you know, San Diego, all that. But who knows who the king is? Let me know who you think is the king of Chicano rap is, who's the Godfathers, and how that is kind of sad that people thought he got deported and kind of irresponsible of the blogs. But hey, the blogs are trying to just do their thing. So maybe let me know what blogs you like, what blogs you don't like in the comments. And like, subscribe, and turn on notifications and support a real one in the field. This is your boy Pocho of the Chicano Podcast. And I'm out.